Hello, you lovely people. It's so good to see you guys again. And watching that final episode of our season, which has been a long way in the making, kind of got me a little emotional there. What a ride we had, you guys. What a ride.
No,
The journey continues.
It does.
Yes, absolutely. I think just like ending the season. No, I don't know. I've looked forward to this coming out with the pandemic and being separated from you guys and our families. It's been really nice to see this. It was really cool to see it all culminate in tonight's episode. So yeah, thank you guys for an amazing trip this year. It was wild.
It was an honor to be by both of your sides.
Yes,
Same.
absolutely.
So we started out in Maine at the Weld Street Inn, which was beyond my expectations of what was going on. Anna told us that it was going to be just a chill little night, and it started that way. Then we flew out to Liberty, Missouri. From there, we traveled on to Ashmore Estates in Illinois, and we wrapped up the road trip portion of it at Post-Town School. Flying home, we took some time off to recharge, and then what you guys just saw was this past January, meeting up with our families and taking on an entire town for the night. So also really cool of the town that I grew up in to give us access to all these places for the night. So yeah. I just thought I don't know what else I could ask for out of the season. What about you guys?
I thought it was awesome, especially since my mom had worked for the town as well. And so it was nice for her to be back there. Plus, I know that her and my aunt wanted to ghost hunt for a very long time. And no, I did not beg them. I know that was in the interview. There's no begging, beg them not to show up, but that didn't work.
I think it's really kind of funny because, even though we're all from different points and, I know Ty, you've been friends with a lot of the people who run this show for a long time. Having gone to college in Gorham and kind of being able to share that connection with all of you was a nice moment, and kind of reminds me of how all of our paths are so intertwined, and it just feels good.
Speaking of that intertwining, Anna, did you know something about me and Carol that we only just figured out last month? With our destinies intertwining, I met Carol on our original ghost hunting team, which is called Prime, which her mom and Deb were part of. That's how I met them too. That's when I thought I met Carol. But we found out last month that, Carol, go for it.
We had lived, yes, he grew up in Gorham and I grew up somewhere else, but we had both lived in Westbrook, and he was talking about his kindergarten teacher, and I'm like, that was my kindergarten teacher. And he's like, that's not true. We'd be in the same grade, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that means we were in the same class. And we were. So now we are trying to dig out our kindergarten pictures. And when we do find them, we will have those to show you people. But yeah, he was stalking me in my kindergarten class in another town.
So, don't remember it, but when I named my kindergarten teacher with a name like Lefevre, it's not like Carol could be like, oh, that sounds kind of familiar. She deadpan was like,
I also named the teacher in the next classroom that we used to go over and listen to reading to. So.
Reading time was next door. It's so weird.
Maine is very small.
Very small. So it's wild. I'm trying to get my mom to pull down that picture from the attic, but it's cold right now, so I don't want to be like, yes, get up there. I have a mission for you. Okay. That is purely circumstantial. But okay, good intro. Thank you guys for joining both on Facebook and in YouTube. Sorry, we got already distracted in the introductions here. This is going to be the last episode of the season. Obviously, we have one more Tie Tuesday coming out at some point that Carol has asked for. So we're going to drop that to you guys.
Wait, what Tie Tuesday is this?
The one where I wanted to get creative and I regret it.
Yes, that one. So like, we want to give our editor a break. So that might not be out in 2 weeks like usual, but it'll be out. There is one filmed. But as we're talking tonight, we're going to invite our families on it in just a minute. So you guys can ask them questions too. Inundate us. No cards are off the table. Just ask questions in the chat. We don't know when we're going to do another live stream for you guys. Hopefully have some stuff planned this winter. But until then, if you guys have a deep-seated question, you want to know more about my beard, because that looked like the common topic in the chat when the episode was going, lay it on us, because we're here to answer you guys' questions for the next half hour or so, and we'd love you guys to give our family a taste of what it's like to go live up here. But one of the things that I do want to talk about in the last episode that I feel like didn't get the importance it needed was the candle at the end. That was something I felt is super important to do, just a token or even an acknowledgement like that. We tell a little bit about how it's a similar gesture of like what we did to Penhurst. But what was really cool about the candle is we all created it that night. We put symbols in it off camera that were important and we won't talk about, but each person took that in their hand, and even though this might have been their first time investigating, it was great because they imbued it with their desire, what the night had filled them with. And hopefully, you know, it works as almost like some scrubbing bubbles for that place that just kind of sloughs off the muck every once in a while. And the cool thing about it is that our producer, Nick, his mom actually basically runs this town. So we were able to tell her what we wanted to do, and she gave us permission to put it in the town vault with the town charter, the original like documents from the people who founded it. Like, and it is just right in there next to these town founding documents is a strange little candle with a strange little note signed by like 11 different
strangers.
People. Yeah, exactly. So they can look at it in 200 years from now and be like, what? But very specific on that candle, it says do not disturb. So there you go. It's going to be a major blockbuster movie in 2069 or something.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah. The candle. One candle.
Dun, dun.
Cool. Well, before we bring our family in, Carol, there was so much good footage that didn't make the episode. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like up at the old Shaw School or the old Roby School that you were in with your family? Because I know that you said you got more activity when you were there during the day than at night. So how did you fill the time, and what were some tactics that you used to stir up some entities?
Well, I did. It was weighing on me that I only saw things during the daytime, and I think we let loose, and I guess this was us attempting to behave and do our best. I don't know.
Awesome. Let's roll some footage.
Oh, I forgot about this thing too. We also have this. You got it. Bring it in. You know what? This thing beeps. It's done. You like it? Touch it. What?
Yeah, the kids have pooped in that. Kids have puked in that. They've pooped in that, definitely. I'm not kidding you.
Get in.
No.
Get in.
That's a shack.
Why do you get in?
No, that's a shack.
Get in the shack.
I'm not getting. You get in the shack. Madison, get in.
Ma.
I thought it would be funny if I go in. Go in.
I'm too fat to go in.
No, you're not.
I'm not going in.
Why not?
Because. All right, I'm in.
Jesus Christ.
We're gone. We're out.
All right. You look like you're ready for story time. You look so ready.
I'm not doing anything, Carol.
I didn't say you were in trouble, honey. I just said you look like you're ready for the. That's enough.
You're possessed.
You will never break the chain. Break the chain. All right. I have a book, and if anyone here. What was that?
That's my phone.
Holy shit, that scared me. I was like, we got something going on.
Thought you farted.
Welcome back, everybody watching. We have brought in our courageous family members to join us for the evening. Hi, everybody. How you guys doing?
Good.
Hi.
Hi. What did you think of the episode? First, Hannah, I'll start with you, and then we can roundtable a little bit.
How come she gets to go first?
Because I saw her first in the bottom
Because
left-hand
I'm
corner.
the favorite cousin. Duh.
Yeah,
You
this
all
is
said it.
bullshit. We can talk about that later. This is
There
a
you go.
great room to talk about that.
Okay, what do you think? This is your first time seeing her.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. It brought back all the memories of that night, and it's kind of validating to know that like my memory is, you know, seeing it again, it all like kind of makes sense, and I didn't like rearrange things in my mind. Like it was awesome to see it all on film, and it was very much so true to the experience, which was really, really cool.
Awesome.
I loved it. I loved it.
Thank you for being there. Bree,
Super
I
cool.
noticed.
I'll let somebody else talk.
I noticed that you.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Absolutely. You did great. So knowledge for the viewers about Bree is that she might be one of my most boisterous cousins, but you might have also noticed that during the episode, it got quiet very fast. Bree, how was your night, and what happened to the vibrato that you brought to the spell? Where did that go?
So there's so much hindsight. I noticed I was so quiet. There was just that building brings back so many just memories for me in general. So every time, what is it called when you guys put on the blindfold?
The Estes method.
So that part was weird for me when you were doing that, and they were like Alec, Zit, or Pimples or whatever. I literally was sitting there going, my middle name is Alec, and I have a huge zit on my lip right now that I know that the camera can see. And I didn't say anything during that time because I was just like, it was just a little too close to home. It was just too close to home.
That's the time.
Yeah, but I'm a professional hunter. I don't know that. Like, I don't know. And I'm just sitting there going, I don't want to say something because I didn't want to like influence it because I'm also a total cynic, and I'm sitting there going, oh, if I say something, they're just going to play on it, and then they're going to turn it into a whole thing. But it kept on, like, things that kept happening that night kept like pointing toward me, or at least maybe I'm just completely self-absorbed and I felt like that, but like, I just felt like they kept on saying Alec. Like Alec kept coming. There was footage that wasn't shown that like they kept saying that. And and it's funny though, because Angela's husband and we have the same middle name. And I don't know. Anyways, there was a little too much close to home, and I was very uncomfortable. I was a little scared. I was a little scared, and there was a little too much shit going on that made me uncomfortable.
What that means is that we'll just have to have you back and really push the boundaries so that you can really learn those skills. Get you, Hannah, and Angela back on the case.
Listen, that was experience 2 with me for Haunt Me. The first was, we went to Massachusetts and we did that. I mean, let's not even talk about the Red Room, because that's Red Room is a whole other topic.
I loved it. We got to move on to Angela real quick, though. Angela, how do you think the episode came out versus your experience that night, and did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, it was awesome. The coolest part was getting to see the Estes method when I was wearing the blindfold and the headphones, because I obviously couldn't hear anything you guys were saying. And when I was just saying words, I had no idea, like I just forgot them. I was sitting there and I would just say whatever I heard, and it was really cool to hear that it actually made sense.
Yeah, we were speaking to you. It was really friggin' weird.
I love that. I love that. So one building over from us was Baxter Library. Anna, let's talk about your night. What about you and Kristen? What questions do you have for your sister about her experiences?
Yeah, I mean, truly, I think our night was pretty quiet. So I guess Kristen has been on a couple investigations with us off camera, helping out with events. I mean, how did this compare to those for you?
It was definitely the most relaxed one that we've been on, like I felt pretty comfortable the whole time, except the attic where, you know, it felt like we were gonna hit some wood that was gonna fall through or something like that. But it was all kind of positive, nothing, no negative energy or anything like that, which was really nice. But it also, you know, to trade that off didn't feel as active at times.
Right. There's a level of like there's a reason why we went to the GRCC so many times, both on and off camera. It's just because it was there and you could access it. Was the physical fear? Oh, sorry. What was that, Ty?
Maybe that's where we take my cousins and Andrew next time.
That would be a trip.
I would love to go there. That place looks wild.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, 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 please.
Kristen, sorry to interrupt you, Anna. Keep going.
No, it's fine. When it came to the attic, I think that's the only time that I really felt like you were wavering. Was it purely like a fear of the physical structure, or was it the fact that it was indeed kind of creepy?
You know, I don't even remember. Like, I barely even remembered going up there. I think it was so fast compared to everything else.
Yeah.
That, you know, it didn't really affect me too much. But I remember, didn't we spend a lot of the time like on the back of the stage doing Estes? And was that
the back of the stage? I think you're flashing back to the Oliver House, the Middleborough Town Hall.
Starts to blend in, doesn't it? Everyone makes fun of me.
I'm doing this 40 times.
Well, in my defense, it's all very dark.
Yeah. I'm gonna start using that.
And I think pictures are always kind of creepy. I mean, like paintings in the back, and you know, where something else is staring at you, and you always like are looking for something because it's dark, and then you catch on some eyes or something familiar. Your brain tends to go crazy with that stuff, or it tends to, you know, harp and
run away with it. Yeah. I do have one final question for you. Now that you've experienced, well, not now, but as you have experienced real life ghost hunting, how does it compare to Phasmophobia?
Phasmophobia is much easier because you could just, like, I think we were playing today, like you could just run right up to the ghosts.
You can in real life too, Kristen. It's
no.
It's not gonna happen.
No. I think it's a little bit more, Phasmophobia is definitely more reliable. You know, you'll get something every time.
Fair. All right, Carol, you're up.
Hello, Ma. Hi, Maddie. Okay, guys, my Aunt Deb is actually in the chat room too. So, hi, Aunt Debbie. I see you in there. First, I just want to ask you guys about the magic that we did. Okay, everyone, my mom has her tiny hands because she can't stop herself. Put your tiny hands away.
Don't stop.
Madison is actually screaming for help with her eyes, and only I know this because I'm her sister. Hang in there, Madison. It's almost over. What did you guys think of the magic? This is the first time I'd really done anything like that with you guys.
I thought it was great. It was different. It wasn't over the top. It was great.
Yeah.
Really effective too. Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect. It was new. I don't know. I was open to it.
Yeah.
But I guess I wasn't expecting it, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Aunt Debbie said hi.
Hi, Deb.
All right.
Hey, Deb. Carol, I have the same question for my family, if you don't mind, because they kicked off the spell. I got to see, obviously I was busy doing my own, so I get to see my cousin Bree stomp on hers. So
that almost burnt the place down.
How did you guys like that starting off the night?
It was raining, okay? It was raining outside.
It was raining. It was January, so I have to give you guys mega props for even like letting me do this to you in the first place, so we could start off a very chilly evening completely wet. What was that like for you guys, kicking it off in kind of like a true Haunt Me fashion, where instead of going straight to the tech, we kind of like opened things up a little bit? Angela, I'll start with you because I saw what Bree did.
Sorry.
I almost burnt the shit down.
You guys made it look really cool
Almost.
because I was behind a building and it was so dark. There were no lights. So I think Nick was filming and he had to like get a flashlight so I could even read it because I was like in the middle of it. Like, I have no idea what this says. I can't see it. We're going to be cursed. I don't know what to do. I'm going to say the wrong thing. But I was actually really scared to do a spell because it freaks me out. But then when we did it, I was like, okay, I'm not going to think of it as a spell. I'm going to think of it as like not a ritual, but like a ceremony. So it wasn't as scary.
It's almost like almost like saying hello in a different language. That's kind of how I look at it.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Hannah, you were into it though, kid. You were up there working
Loved
at
it.
Spirit Altar. You were up there, you were outside just kicking ass. What did you think of that magic?
Well, my friend Sarah is a Reiki master and we lived together for about a year. So that was something like using the crystals and going to like teaching events and stuff with her. It was something that like I feel like I had a jump start on than the rest of the group. So it just felt like a really well planned out spell, and just to do like a north, south, east, west thing, kind of surround the area with like love and positivity. For me, it was just really comfortable and I thought it was fantastic. And I honestly feel like that's why we got any sort of communication where the other groups were struggling to get communication. I feel like because we did that spell, it really did lift the veil a little bit, because we were all very close to each other. Like the buildings are next to each other. So it just didn't make sense that nobody else got anything and we did. And the only difference really was that we did like a welcoming opening of ceremony, and like, you know, it was really cool. I loved it.
That's a really good point.
And now we have a question come in from one of our viewers right now, and I'll start with my team and then move on to Anna, you and Carol's team. Want to start with Angela specifically because you went under. And Hannah, you went under, but it didn't make camera. What for username is?
I didn't really get anything.
It's okay. The user Bonaboo is her name. In our chat, wants to know if it was scary to be blindfolded and essentially unable to sense your surroundings, or is it distracted enough trying to focus and listen to the words? What was your experience doing the Estes method like? And Bree, what was it like being on the receiving end and kind of seeing it happen in action? And same question for the other groups too, so it's coming your way.
First, is that what you said?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Angela, go for it. What was it like to be blindfolded and focused on that for you?
Okay, I was nervous sweating because it was dark in that room and I had a blindfold on and I couldn't hear anything. And I was terrified.
I remember being terrified for you.
Yeah, I was scared you guys were gonna leave.
Yes, she was so afraid that she was going to be in the room by herself when she got the blindfold.
Major trust issues there.
Yeah. But
Coming from me, I would understand why you wouldn't trust me. I would totally leave.
like I wanted someone to hold my hand the whole time. But I think after I got over that and they swore on their lives that they wouldn't leave.
So you were in the creepiest room.
Yeah, the dark room.
The worst room ever. The worst room ever.
It was stale there. The air was like not moving.
Anna and Carol, I love that the worst room ever in what we rated a 2. You know, so anyways, keep going. We got some
All
good
right, professionals. Can you dial it down a little bit here? We got some rookies in the room.
Okay. Loved everything you did. So keep going, Angela. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. So yeah, it was scary at first, but then after I didn't know what to expect. So when you have the headphones on, obviously you're blindfolded, but you have the headphones on, it sounds like static. And then it just like, if you've seen anything like that on TV, it's just the static and then words pop through, but you have headphones on. So I can't hear the questions. And I just tried not to listen too hard. I just tried to relax. And then if I heard something, then I would just repeat it. And the first word I said, I'm so glad it didn't make it on there, because it didn't make it on the show, but a lot of the night they were saying Nick, which is Ty's brother, my husband. So they kept saying Nick, 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 Nick the whole night, and everyone kept saying that. And that was the
We
first
had two Nicks in our group.
Oh, okay, yeah. Both Nicks.
We
then.
had
They
two
were
Nicks
both-
in our group, but when I was under the Estos method, they kept just muttering and like tee-hee-heeing and giggling Nick the entire time. It was like we were in a classroom of teenagers and they wouldn't stop like giggling. It was weird because that wasn't something in the Estos method that I could like say really, because it was just like muttering, whispering, and like Nick, hee hee hee. And then one time, and I should have said it, I heard Brad Pitt, and like it was bizarre. It was like straight up 8th grade, 7th grade shenanigans.
Just in case your brother is listening, Tyler, Nick, you don't look like me.
You don't. Sorry, Nick.
But isn't it great to have like a modern reference when we're talking about spirits? Like there's always like we're always talking about, you know,
it was weird.
Yeah, I mean it's great to have something like, you know, today.
Very true. And Bree, before we go over to the other teams, again, noticing how quiet you were in that hallway when I was under, you've kind of already hit about that it was nerve-wracking, but did you find it interesting as well? Was that something that you would maybe try in the future?
Yeah. So in hindsight, you know, looking back at the episode, in hindsight, I regret being so quiet because obviously had I chirped in and said something, it might have had more relevance, but it really did. There was so many things that was happening, and being in that locker room and having Angela's conversation go so fluidly, it was very bizarre to me. I don't know, the Alec thing was weird. It's funny because as close as you and I are, you also didn't know that my middle name was Alec at that time. And so you were like, geez, you and Nick have the same middle name. And so it was just kind of funny to me that there was so much correlation. Yeah, I was really uncomfortable the entire time.
Do you remember when it yelled phone and apparently, or I said phone, and apparently at that same time you had just reached for your phone because there was like a Patriots game on that you really wanted a score update?
Yeah, I hated everything about that night.
That's all right.
I feel like we got so much intelligent like chatter, but it was just like weird, bizarre chatter.
Yeah.
That's the thing that like,
like there was
Carol and Anna do is like there's experience and then there's evidence, right? And so we got a lot of experiences that night, but we had a very hard time turning it into a conversation where we could kind of mine information. So that's why the episode was kept rated low, is because we did get stuff that we can't really deny that, but it didn't further any knowledge of the school in general. So with that, Anna, I'm going to kick over to you and your family to talk a little bit more about their experiences, Estes Method, library, anything that you want.
Yeah, we did the Estes Method for a little bit. I don't think anything happened. I don't remember anything significant.
I don't know. I don't remember either, but I know that the same thing happened when the only time that I've done it, which was at another location, nothing happened. But this is the second time, Ty, that you've been under that you had that I was there 2 for 2 actually, that you said something related to me, which was funny. This time my name, which I didn't know happened, that's interesting. But then, you know, we had another investigation that I was at too, that you called out like where I work, which was weird too. Yeah, that stuff's fun. But in the future, I still want to do one with 2 boxes with both of us, Anna and I, and see what happens.
That's wild. I've seen it happen, not with twins, but I've seen it happen before. And it's weird because the 2 people will start talking, you know, like this, giving different answers, and then they start talking to each other, and that's kind of when you pull them out, because it gets a little too creepy when whatever spirits are there decide that they can now have a mouthpiece and talk easily to each other, and completely ignore the interviewer. So
I've seen that happen with Ty, another person, and you guys did that. You were saying different things, and then you started talking to each other, and then you started to say the same things. It was really creepy.
Well, we'll definitely have to do that experiment. Now that we're talking about it, I remember chatting with our producer, Nick, and what happened in the Estes method didn't quite fit in the episode, but he did save it for an extra scene on coffee. So it was worth saving. So definitely check it out on coffee.com/hauntmeofficial. But I agree with you, Kristen. I think one of my intentions for the episode was to do kind of like a twin experiment. But I think in order to do that, I would want a more controlled environment, you know, just so I knew what we were getting into to a certain level before I start playing mind games with both of us.
The GRCC, Anna.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, no, I know what's going on there.
Yeah.
Super familiar with those spooks.
I want to see the twin magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. So like I have begun practicing magic over the last 2 years, but Kristen, this isn't something that you subscribe to in any way. It's not really, I think in our discussions, it's really, you don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I think of it. I mean, I'm super logical, and so it's always kind of a question. But, you know, at the same time, I think, like, you know, every time you guys mention the GRCC, I mean, there's just, that was probably the most experience that I had. Like, and you know, I mean, you can't really explain too much of that away. And I think oftentimes I feel like emotions, and I'm like, I don't know where that particular is coming from, but I don't know what to make of it. You know, it's just, it's a fun thing to, you know, it's always fun to learn more about something, and that's how I see it as. And
I think that's the best way to investigate, right? Is just to experience. Carol, your turn.
All right. Back to you people. Mom, have you put your tiny hands away? Mom!
Yes! Tiny hands!
Wait, you're high. Madison, I am so sorry. Anyways, I'll let my Aunt Debbie throw out in the chat. Oh, okay. So my Aunt Debbie put in the chat how she takes her take on the Estes method. But Mom and Maddie, what did you guys think when it said shut the door and we realized that the doors were open, that one door, because people were taking basketballs out for trigger objects?
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
A little bit of the chills. It kind of like started making sense.
Yeah.
Almost like pick up after yourself, you know?
Love it. So here's maybe raising it up too high. Like this is the point where we can smack
I
that
know
up.
what you're about to say, and that's what I thought all night too. And then watching the episode, it made me rethink that. But go ahead, Ty.
I connected it when I saw Nick edit it together, I think. But, and this is just for you guys to weigh on it, what we did at the beginning of the night, me, Bree, Angela, and Hannah, we worked together to open the door. And at the very, very end of the night, yeah, the gym door was open where all the balls were there. So like that could have been it. But what do you guys think about the spirits very clearly telling us that they won't, like we got the EVP that said leave, and then you guys got the call of close the door.
But we closed it, right? Like we did that?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Absolutely. But what do you guys think about that? Like, I know that's like, that's the level of
I don't know.
Squashy. So
what everybody didn't see is that we were talking about, and Ty was very clearly explaining the spell and how we were going to close the door and close it all up while we were doing the spell. So it wasn't like it was just said one time by Anna. That was talked about like while we were doing the spell, that we're going to close the door on the night and say thank you. And it was something that was reiterated. So it wasn't like, you know, one time said we're going to close the door. And we had very different experiences in the gym, the different groups. It was like you guys came back and were like, oh, we saw lights, and we were like, okay, but where? And then it was different places, and we were hoping for our experiences to line up in the gym, and they just didn't. So anyways, enough said.
That's typical. Well, just something to ponder, something I had thought of that wanted to run it by you guys.
Yeah.
Interesting take that cannot be proven, you know?
Yeah, it just kind of blew my mind a little bit. I didn't even think about that.
It's weird. And now anyone watching the stream can go back and watch this episode too to watch those clues get danced around. But let's talk about your location, Carol. I know not much happened paranormally, but what kind of experiences had you had there during the day? What made you want to go back with your family?
The things that stuck out to me and definitely happened to other coworkers. The morning thing happened to other coworkers, but I was there for the most part. But I would go in, I would unlock the door, walk across, and immediately go upstairs and unlock the game rooms and everything. So when the kids came in before the bus, they would go up and do their thing. But every single time I went up the stairs, I would hear footsteps coming up behind me. And I started to think, you know what, is it me? Am I setting off the stairs somehow to make it sound like it's me? So I would stop and I would hear it continue walking. And then I once I felt rushed, so I went upstairs, and one day I was turning on the TV right after I heard that, walked into a room, turned the TV on, and I turned around, and there was a short, solid figure, and it was all black silhouette, but it was solid. And then one day I was reading to the kids, and all 27 kids saw this, but there was a wall of cupboards in there. Pretty sure you can see them in the shot, and all of them just blew open at the same time, and a bunch of stuff fell out. And so I went into the rooms next to me with my coworkers, and I was like, did we just have like an earthquake? Did you guys have anything happen? And nothing happened. They were actually kind of like, what the hell happened in your room? And then just little things here and there, but those are the two biggest things.
What I was hoping would happen to you guys on camera. That would have taken the focus away from my old junior high and Anna's library and been like, we're in the Carol show. We got the Muppets there. They're going wild. How do you wrangle the team together?
I would just like to say this. How do I wrangle them? I don't wrangle them. Did you see?
I loved
You can't wrangle us. You can't. There's no wrangling us.
I loved it.
Don't get tough. Madison.
I'm just stating a fact.
Yeah. Madison, I'm very proud of you. You did very good.
Thank you.
Would you go to a scarier place? Because to me,
I want to.
You're not Madison.
I'm just telling you.
And
I'd like to go.
I need more Jen in my life. I need this in my life.
Take her.
You guys are hilarious.
I love them.
This is my life. All right.
Yes,
I was really proud of you because I know that it freaked you out when to me that was like we just got back from that road trip and that was so super easy. And I think when your phone fell out of your pocket, and I think I just was startled because I was exhausted. But even though I would consider that mild, I know the gym freaked you out a little bit. Madison, would you go with me to like even like a scarier place, very scary place, like Belvoir or something?
I'd like to think yes. I don't, in the moment, it would probably be awful, terrible, but I'd get over it, I think.
All
I'm
right.
used to everything. So it's like, whatever.
That's all right. All right. Noted. I'll drag you.
Yeah.
Can I bounce off your question right there to my family real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so family, I know some of you have already been to some of these places, which is great, and thank you for supporting me, and thank you for coming on this episode. You all did wonderful, and it's probably one of my favorite things that I've ever been able to do. I'm so glad that there's an episode of it that I can go watch and see our times together. It's great. What would you guys, if you want to come back, I guess I would say, if you wanted to come back, what is a haunt me location that we've already been to that you would like to return with us for? And Hannah, I'll start with you.
Why I never start? Like, why don't I ever get picked to go first?
Okay, I'm gonna do this one because
favorite cousin does.
Because your video keeps,
this is complete BS.
Because your video stream keeps dropping out. 2, because I want to give you time to answer this question because I don't.
My video stream did not drop out. I had to pee, and I chose to take myself off video to go to the bathroom.
I appreciate it.
Smart,
My
actually.
video
Yeah, that's good.
connection is perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna say more so. I would assume Angela and Hannah might know the Haunt Me episodes a little bit better off the top of their head, and I'm gonna give you some time to think is what that is. So, Hannah, so let's start with you. Which location or episode would you like to join us on in the future? Blue Sky, if we went back to some place.
So I was super, super jealous that you guys did like the Oddfellows because I love the Oddfellows and Belvoir. It's a winery. Hello.
That's true.
That was like amazing to watch. That was super, super cool. But the going to Rumford would be really, really cool. You guys have gotten some really interesting stuff there. And especially like the second time you went and it was on Haunt Me, the transition to what like understanding that location would be wild. So I would love to go there with you guys. But I've spent a lot of the summer in Rangeley. Rangeley's fucking haunted. Oh, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't swear. Rangeley is wild. The energy in Rangeley, Maine is crazy. And every I've had lately has been in Rangeley, and it's like places you wouldn't expect, like it's Rangeley, Maine is somewhere you guys really need to go. It's bizarre, and the history of like energy and like energy studies in Rangeley is also pretty interesting. There was like a sex cult there that like was trying to like, anyways, that it was all about energy. Anyways, Rangeley, Maine is bizarre.
Rangeley, I'll come with you and I'll go skiing, and then I'll
yes, Saddleback's open, kind of.
Don't you feel like watched in the woods up there? Because our camp is like pretty close to Rangeley, and you're always up watching.
Sometimes you do. Definitely.
Sounds like we have a case. Angela, what location would you join us with if we could go back?
Middle Agent House.
Yes.
Sunday.
Okay. Cool. Nice. I like that.
Oh yeah. That's a really good answer.
You guys would love Ray.
I love Ray.
Angela, I think we could make this.
Love a mustache.
Yes.
Can I go? Is this a formal invitation?
Yeah. When the COVID passes, we can figure this out. That'll be doable. Bree, you have a place. I know you already gone to the Olive Our House with us, but is there a place that you have seen that you'd like to try this again?
Mount Washington.
Yes, we could actually.
Mount Washington.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You can ski during the day, and we'll rent out the princess room for the night.
All of the things, and also I'm pretty sure we should go to our cousin Eric's place up there. There has got to be some weird stuff up there.
And it's not just Eric.
Where's that?
Poor cousin Eric. What did he do?
No, poor cousin Eric.
I
No.
refuse to drop his town, and I refuse to drop his last name because now I don't want him to be a victim of this.
It'll happen. Yes, cousin Eric. The odds of you watching are 0%, but yes.
The odds of you watching are 0, but now I'm going to send it to him. And
yeah, no poor cousin Eric, Anna. He deserves everything that comes his way.
All right.
Cousin Eric.
Well, I guess with that, Kristen, you should answer this question as well. I know you've been to a couple of the locations.
Oh gosh, I can't remember the names of places.
That's fine.
But
say something vague.
I'd love to, explore some more places in Massachusetts or some more places with older history. I think we've gone together on a trip to Gettysburg. I think that would be something down there would be amazing.
Yeah, I would love to. That was a good trip in and of itself, but yeah, we should definitely do that as Haunt Me, and then also as a family, and then let's just go.
That's the next family episode. You didn't know that, but you guys just get ready. We're going to Gettysburg.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of good footage from that road trip.
Yeah.
Take Angela and Devil's Den to do a solitary, and then we'll come back. It'll be great.
Mom, Maddie.
Oh boy, I don't know. Leamington, you know what? Old
That
school.
doesn't count.
Leamington. What?
That does not count because that's Uncle Larry's house. Doesn't even count.
That was like good. I like that place.
I was just like, that's Uncle Larry's house. You can't go there again.
I'd like to go to Belvoir. I think that would be fun.
Yes.
Hinsdale House. I think that would be fun.
Me and Jen, we're going. It's you and me.
But I'd like to go to Gettysburg too. So.
oh yes, sign me up for that.
Yes, Gettysburg. Maybe the Gettysburg one is the next. There's enough space
Let's
to do it.
just get like a van and all of us go in the van.
Mom, I know what you're doing. Not funny.
No, she can bring
It's a
the
long drive. I've done it before.
I love it. I love this idea though.
Gettysburg is
Minivan.
creepy. It's
A good
really
size.
wild.
I love it though. It's got that Rangeley energy that you're talking about, Hannah. He's got all eyes all the time.
You know, COVID has me wanting to do one of those van renovation things. So, like, what if I renovate a van?
Renovate the van, Bree. We'll all get tested, and then we'll hit the road. That'll be it.
I'll get tested and head down to the river.
Hauntmobile.
If we get a mystery machine, actually, the guy Robin who runs Ashmore, where we were at, he actually owns the mystery machine. He owns the Scooby van. And it wasn't there the weekend we were there, but that's how I fell in love with this guy. Is he Scoobies out and drives this thing to different locations, and it's the mystery machine. It's awesome, and it lives at Ashmore. And I was so sad that it wasn't there when we were there.
I didn't know this. I'm very sad now.
Why are you friends with this person? Are you actual friends with this person?
Yeah, Robin is a wonderful human being. He's great.
Absolutely wonderful.
He doesn't hang out more often.
I feel like maybe season 8 we can just be like, hey Robin, I need to rent the van from you. We have an idea. We've got
Give me the number. Give me the number. I'm on it.
Okay, thanks, Bree. I love that. I appreciate it. Well, want to wrap up because it's 9:30 right now, and thank you guys, 1, so much for coming tonight, and 2, so much for coming and making this episode such a memorable thing for all of us. It was fantastic, and people have been asking in the chat rooms, and I know throughout the season, what's next? I know with the pandemic, it makes things a bit more complicated. It made our ability to wrap up the season a bit more complicated, but we got through it. As a country and as a world, we are going to get through the pandemic as well, and there will be an after, there will be next, and there will be more Haunt Me projects. We have several ideas on the line, because being locked inside helps you create ideas because you don't have the distractions that normal life generally provides. So we have a lot of different streamlines that we're thinking about right now, including a documentary that would be close and dear to our hearts, a regular season 8 with all the locations that you guys, you viewers, have sent us. Keep those coming. They're great. We would love to do another road trip. And then the ideas that we've just spawned tonight is how much fun would it be to do a family reunion in Gettysburg, do another one of these family episodes.
Clearly,
so
we all need to buy a van.
Yes.
Got to get the van, especially the mystery machine. So there will be a season 8. Unfortunately, we cannot give you a date at this time. It will be as soon as we can get out there safely. Haunt Me is a show that's about stories. The ghosts are the bonus part. And if we weren't able to talk to the people face to face that are living these lives in these haunted locations on a daily basis, if we weren't able to interview them, if we weren't able to create a dialogue with them, the real heart of Haunt Me would fall through. And so in order to preserve that, we are going to be waiting until it is safe for not only our team, but the people who we go to speak with to host us as well. It might not be the funnest choice, but it is the most responsible one. And that's the one that we're going to be sticking through, because we want to keep sharing these people's stories, whether they have passed or if they're still here. And that's what Haunt Me is all about. So there will be new Haunt Me in the future. Bear with us, stick with us. We'll be putting out plenty of bonus content that came from this crazy season. The road trip was a wonderful idea. I had a great time with all of you guys that are here tonight. And so
when does the blooper reel come out?
Talk to Nick. There is a blooper reel on Coffee right now, but I know there are more bloopers out there that Nick can mine for you guys.
Let's go, Nick.
Shouldn't have to mine too far.
Make that happen. Yes, absolutely. There might even be plenty of bloopers from just that one episode that you guys were on that I'd like to Nick to stream together. So that would be fun, Nick. If you're out there listening, which I know you are, because you have to be, get on that. That's my Christmas present. That's all I want. I want to see more scared Kristen. I want to see Angela doing the Estes method and asking us to make sure that we wouldn't leave her alone in the room, which that would never happen anyway. But the paranoia was there, and I appreciated it.
Just do a blooper reel on how many times I said the F-bomb during.
A lot. It's I think it's tied. You, Carol, and Anna are really max it out.
We can just do a straight up F-bomb blooper reel.
There we
I
go.
love it.
That would be awesome.
Hey, Carol and Anna, you guys have anything to say before we sign off for the season?
Just
everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Take care of yourselves. We genuinely appreciate everybody who has even taught me from watching it, sharing it, liking it, our families. It really is a gift in our lives, and we are super grateful.
Yes, I've enjoyed myself, and I'm looking forward to whatever comes for season 8. And thank you guys. Thank you to our families, and yeah, love you guys.
We
Love
love you
all of you
guys.
guys.
You guys
Thank
are
you
so
for
awesome.
everything. I can't wait to see you all again. Seriously. Have an awesome night.